Steve in America, this is Symbolic. I'm responding to your video called More on a Different Line. You begin the video by talking about atheism and the theory of evolution, though you've sort of turned it into a belief system by saying evolutionist, which would imply evolutionism, when actually evolution is a scientific theory, not a belief system. A scientific theory can neither be true nor false. It's either accurate or inaccurate based on the power. It's explanatory and predictive power. So that's different. First of all, Steve, atheism and the theory of evolution are completely independent things. You can be an atheist and accept the theory of evolution or reject it, and you can be a theist and accept the theory of evolution or reject it. So we should get that straight. Then a rather disturbing part of your video is you say that if you personally accepted the theory of evolution, that you believe that that would compel you or compel one to basically, well, you didn't use the word slaughter, but basically slaughter anybody who you felt was unworthy or basically not up to par. Completely false, Steve. The theory of evolution does it's not based on vicious competition, Steve. It's not, well, it's not based on how mankind should slaughter. It's not eugenics, Steve. Evolution is not eugenics. Completely different. What evolution says is not that the species progresses by everybody competing viciously and killing everybody off so that only the strong survive. The genes that survive to go on to the next generation are the genes that allow the organism to better adapt to the environment. So, it's a question of adaptation. The most adaptable survives, particularly during times of great climate change and changes in the earth. So evolution is not eugenics. In fact, I believe that one of the ways our species has survived is through cooperation, not through rampant competition. Cooperation has allowed us to survive a lot of the changes in the earth, I believe. Had we not been competing, we'd have died off. If we had been competing viciously, we would have died off as a species. Um, uh, in fact, it's better to have as much biodiversity as possible because if you have different groups of people you have a wider gene pool and you can basically spread your risk. If you have a small group and there are negative traits that develop genetically, which will happen from time to time randomly, you end up if you only breed within your particular group, you end up with an over amplification of the negative traits. However, by mating with other groups of people, you spread that risk and reduce it economically too. You spread economic risk by trading and interacting with other groups of people, so that if the area that you are in suffers some sort of agricultural calamity, you have family ties to other groups where there may not be an agricultural calamity, and those resources can be spread. Actually, it's kind of like globalization in a way. So that's the story. So evolution is not eugenics, and it is completely destructive to the entire species to go around wiping people out. What else do you have here? Oh, yeah. So your concept of natural selection's a little off, my friend. Um, I think that is about what the story is. Um, a couple of words on thinking outside the box. You might want to consider, since you're not an atheist, you're a theist. You might want to consider looking into alternative conceptions. I mean, there are various forms of theism. Um, Primarily in our culture, what we have is we assume a linear progression of time, and we perceive time linearly, and we assume linear progression of time. Um, I don't know your religious beliefs, but when it comes to evolution, um, I know that if you believe, like many fundamentalists believe, that the Earth is only 6,000 years old, linearly, then I grant you that's not going to be enough time for all the evolution to have taken place uh, that has taken place. Um, but going beyond that, if you broaden your conception of time and space, you may find that some very interesting things develop out of that. So that's the story, my friend. Atheism and theism, what have you. Atheism is completely independent from the theory of evolution. Theory of evolution is a scientific theory. It's neither true nor false. It's to be accepted or rejected based on its explanatory and predictive powers and its alignment with the evidence that's discovered. If some other evidence comes along, well, we have to either modify the theory or throw the entire theory out for a better theory, just like the heliocentric theory replaced the whatever it was, epicycle, Ptolemaic theory, though they probably didn't believe it was a theory. That's a story. And evolution, evolution basically, the theory of evolution would basically support cooperation and adaptation of a species to the environment and our species cooperating with each other and not some vicious genocidal war. So I encourage you to look again at evolution and look again at atheism. You know, you might find it interesting. Let me know if you believe that the existence of God is a necessary hypothesis to explain the universe as we know it. By the way, I'm an agnostic. Take care. Bye bye.